So, welcome to Beauty of Colors podcast, Tamika. It's great to have you on the show.
Great to be here. Thank you so much.
So, Tamika, tell us a little bit about you and what is your story?
Yeah, so I'm Tamika Carlton. Currently, I help individuals and couples thrive through quality relationships. And I am the CEO and founder of Couples Experience, which is an inclusive relationship company. We host couples retreats and we have luxurious couples events. But ultimately, my story is I'm originally from Seattle. I currently live in Georgia. And really, my main goal in life is to just see people connect to themselves, connect to one another, and feel this sense of happiness and joy in all of their lives versus just being very stagnant or feeling stuck. And one of my greatest beliefs, and research offers the same clue in on one of the best ways to increase your happiness, overall well being, and income is to have quality relationships, whether that is romantic or platonic. So that is what I'm on a mission to push forth more really fruitful connections and relationships.
So, Tamika, what was the leading cause of you getting into this relationship-based business?
Yeah, great question. It never, you feel like it should start off of one thing, but I've grown to learn that it really is about reflecting on even your childhood. And ultimately, one of the biggest things for me was I lost my father at a really early age unexpectedly. And being an only child, it was one of those things where I was really thrust into this reality that A, life is short, and B, connections are really strong. And I really wanted to ensure, I kind of promised myself once I lost my father, I was 13 years old, that I would always tell people how I felt, no matter if that was good, bad, or indifferent, because I really felt like I lost out on an opportunity to connect with him on a deeper level. And obviously, I was only 13 years old, but I had so much more that I wanted to say to him, so much more that I wanted to share with him. And I think in life, we are more inclined to withhold so much because we think we have more time. And the truth is that we really may not have more time. So that was one piece of it. And then when I grew up and I became this adult, I married my husband about 8 years ago, give or take. And, we were a great relationship or had a great relationship, but we were going through really like real life issues. And no one was having conversations, at least people that we were around, about how complicated and complex it can be to be in a real fruitful relationship and partnership. And we were like, people need to be having some real transparent conversations. And that is what we created. We created a space to be transparent with ourselves and with other couples to really be able to illuminate not only issues, but things that are going well and share in experiences and be able to progress in their relationships in a heightened way. So that's why I always say it's not just romantic relationships, it really is platonic and romantic relationships for me that create this very resonating way for you to live happily. And I think, from the happiness perspective, it really has me, for myself, when I'm able to be vulnerable and when I've connected with my clients, when they are open to vulnerability, there is a depth of the relationship that you're able to have. And that's really what I promote. And once you do that, you connect on a deeper level and you are more inclined to be happier because people know you for who you are versus who you're trying to be.
So, Tamika, what defines a quality relationship? Does it does it differ for everybody, or would you class a quality relationship into one box?
Yeah, I think everyone has a different idea of what is truly quality for them, but there are main kind of a framework that I would like to call it. A is reciprocity, it's really about being able to know that what you're offering, you're getting in return versus just giving a ton and feeling depleted. So that's one. Two is trust. Like you really want to be able to confide in someone. You want to be able to feel that someone is going to be protecting you and in whatever sense of that way is. It could be in a friendship, just knowing that you don't have to think about what the person is going to say behind your back, right? Just being able to truly trust them. And thirdly, it's about fun, like experiencing and being able to be your full self authentically and enjoy your time together in a way that you do not have to think. You can just be. And that's truly important in all relationships. And I think across the board, everyone needs those things, but some people feel that they need a little bit more. Like some people may want or may require more in a quality relationship, whether that is you to like uh, ensure that you're offering me the five love languages, like identifying key ways to love me versus maybe how someone else receives love. So, those things are obviously ways in which some people need additional things, but the core things are reciprocity, trust, and just being able to be your authentic self and experience more with someone else.
Wow, nicely said. So, what are some of the steps that someone can take in deep loving, in family
Yes.
relationships, in marriage, being a
Yes.
friend? Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. Great question. I always like to tell people to lead with intention. Whatever it is that you desire, whether that's a romantic relationship, a friendship, a mentorship, to be in a better colleague relationship, whatever it is, just know exactly what you need and be intentional about that. Like it's similar, I've gone to a lot of like work conferences or events. And a lot of times I kind of go into my mind, like, what is it that I want to gain from this conference before I walk into it? Do I want a friend? Do I want a mentor? Whatever it is, do I want to just elevate my mindset? Whatever that is, just be very honest with yourself about what you want and lead with that intention, and it's easier for the universal energy to offer that energy back to you. It's really about the law of attraction. So that's one piece. And then communication, we've heard it time and time again. Communication is essential. It's about listening, and it's about really being able to clearly articulate your thoughts, your needs, your wants, your desires, and being open to being vulnerable, as I mentioned, and not always getting exactly what you want in return immediately. But just being able to share exactly how you feel. So communication is essential. And then, one of some things one thing that a lot of people forget about is the experience of other people. So like making sure that you are willing to understand that whomever you are in friendship with or in a romantic partnership with has several experiences that are different from yours. So, whether that's their upbringing, or whether that is their environment that they've been in, where they've traveled to, whatever. So, their ideologies and their thinking is much different from yours. And that's a good thing. You do not want to agree on everything, but I think we forget that that a lot of times people are different from us and they will disagree with us. That's okay. Be willing to learn from those experiences and be willing to dive in and really accept people for who they are versus trying to change them into being what you want them to be. So those are my key things.
So, how do we live a life full of unregrettable moments?
Whew, listen to you. That is a good one. Okay, listen, it is one of the main things for me is being present. I just heard a video the other day, or watched a video the other day. It was like uh, a a younger person talking about the millennial generation and older generations and how they didn't have cell phones. when they were like experiencing things in the 90s or before, right? It's like there was a whole different vibe when you're living in a world where there were no cell phones. Like we didn't have a choice but to be in the moment.
Yeah.
I think challenging ourselves to put our cell phones down, one,
Mhm.
and two, really understanding what fun looks like for us. Like, I'm simple. I like to laugh. I like to be in a relaxed environment with my people, my core group of people, whether that's over food, like I'm a foodie, so we can eat, we can, chill out at home or whatever it is. But like knowing what it is that matches your energy and what aligns with what your happiness is, and then putting that cell phone down and really just enjoying the moment, because you miss out on so many opportunities to connect with people when we're not being present,
Yeah, it's hard to put the
right?
phone down.
It's so hard to put the cell phone down. And it's like, but me too. I have a hard time at moments,
Mhm.
but even my husband and I, like, we go out to dinner and we look next to us, and like the couples next to us are not even talking because they're on their phones. And it's so amusing because it's like, why are you here? Why are you out and about right now? You could have stayed at home. So
Mhm.
just realizing that there are so many beautiful things that are surrounding you. There are so many opportunities for you to connect with other people on a deeper level, whether it's the server, whether that is the employee that you're walking by, whatever. There are so many people and so many opportunities that you're missing out on that can elevate your life in the simplest of ways and provide so much fruitful, like, gratefulness that we miss. We just miss because we're on our phones, or we're just not paying attention. And that's unfortunate, but I really want us to start paying attention because those are the beautiful moments.
Yeah. So, Tamika, where can the listeners get in touch with you? Tell us a little bit about the services you offer. I know you from the beginning
Yeah.
you said on relationships and how do you have any speaking engagements coming up? Do you have any resources on your website where people can go and probably research on quality relationships?
Yeah, yeah, of course. So I always like to share my life and my tips for relationships on social media on Instagram. So feel free to follow me, Tamika_Carlton JBP on Instagram. But I am constantly on podcasts that I feature on my timeline. In addition to, there is an audiobook that I'm putting out and an ebook that is called Get Real Rich. And it's all about increasing your quality relationships, your income, and overall well being. So that's coming out. So stay tuned and just sign up for the ebook on my website, tamikacarlton.com. And couplesexperience.com has all of the retreats that we're hosting coming up and all of the events that we have around the globe. So, yeah.
Okay, wow, nice. So, do you have any last words for the listeners about creating lasting connections with each other?
Yeah, I say live your best life and be open to identifying with people that are unlike you. I always say that a lot of times we're looking for like minded people, but the joys that we're missing out on are from the people that are not exactly like us. And I think that there's greatness in being transparent, there's greatness in being vulnerable, and there is greatness in just wanting to break down your barriers. Be open to breaking down your barriers. That is and just be happy. Life is short. Live your best life. Seriously. Seriously.
It is
Like, we don't
actually.
have time for anything else but to live our best life. So don't waste it, and be around people that you love only.
Okay. Well, thank you for being on Beauty of Colors podcast.
Yes, thank you. It was great.